Good morning. Thank you for joining this opening program of our 2022 Ascend Student Symposium presented by Ascend Foundation. My name is Marco Soto. I'm your technical facilitator. Before we start the program, we would like to share a few housekeeping announcements. Please use the chat function to introduce yourself and mingle with your fellow attendees. If you need technical assistance, you can chat with me directly via the chat function. If you'd like to show your support for our participants and other people, you can use the emojis. If you have any questions during the panel, you can use the QA function at the bottom of your screen. So now, without further ado, please put your virtual hands together to welcome our program host, Anup Lal, VP of Student Affairs for Ascend LA Metro Chapter. Anup, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Marco. Hi, everyone. This is Anup Lal. I am a board member of Ascend LA Metro Chapter and also a VP of Student Affairs. I am professionally a director at PricewaterhouseCoopers, more on the specialist group. I joined LA Metro probably like 5 years ago when I moved to LA, and it's been a pretty impressive journey. I learned a lot, not just about the city, but the people, the culture, and how can I fit myself in. I have been in US for almost 20 years, but I think just joining the LA Metro chapter has opened up my eyes quite a lot. I have connected with a lot of students whom I have not only hired within PwC, but also have recommended them to be hired by like other organizations, especially the ones, our corporate sponsors or the corporate partners. I have networked a lot with like other professionals and learned about not just my industry, but like, multiple industries, which are in this region. Even like when I first joined, interestingly, I was connecting more with my accounting professionals, but over time I started to interact with like professionals from across the industries. So it's been a pretty impressive journey for me, and I have learned a lot. I have connected a lot. I have networked a lot, and it has improved me, not in my communication skills only, but also in like leadership skills or networking skills. So whenever I mentor any students, I do tell them, hey, listen, don't be shy. Even though your personality is more on being on the conservative side, or just don't be timid, because this is the platform we are all giving to you to just open up and connect, talk, learn, because this is the forum you might be able to leverage when you go either in the professional world or just grow within the professional world. So it's been an impressive journey for me. I do connect with a lot of USC and UCLA students because they have their own Ascend chapter, and that's what my responsibility is as well, to not only help them but also help them connect with the professionals. So just be open. With that being said, I don't think we could have done it without our corporate partners. There are like almost like 30 plus corporate partners we have in the organization. And just imagine how much network you can do, not just with those 30, but with the word of mouth through them. So couldn't have done more without them. And thanks to everyone who's supporting us in this journey. With that being said, let me welcome Tariq Khan, who is an Ascend board member. Tariq, all yours.
Thank you, Anup, and truly appreciate this. On behalf of Ascend, I would like to welcome all of you for this wonderful event. And I also want to thank all our sponsors, as Anup was talking about. Without the support of our sponsors, we are never able to put an event like this together. My special thanks to the LA Metro chapter. The team has been working diligently and they have made this event possible. So thank you so much for being our host. I also want to thank Ascend staff. We have a very thin but mighty and lean staff, and they work diligently to make this event possible. And most importantly, I want to thank you. This is a very important time for all of you. As students and young professionals, you're entering the workforce in a very interesting time. And this is a time that you need partnership and alliances more than ever before. And I wanted to present you Ascend as your partner. Ascend is the organization that can really make the difference in your career. As you know, that Ascend is the largest Pan-Asian membership organization in North America. Our goal is very simple. We want to develop and cultivate the pipeline of Asian American professionals. We have 60 plus chapters, including our students and professional chapters that are available to you for your access. And you want to make sure that you use this relationship to leverage the opportunity and enhance your career. Besides being an Ascend National Board member, I have a company called Global Diversity Marketing, and I'm a faculty member at NYU Graduate School. With my experience, I can tell you that thousands and thousands of people that I've hired, I have not always hired the most qualified person, but I have hired the person who is well connected and most prepared. Ascend can be the conduit for you that can provide you that opportunity to be the most connected person in that room. So I encourage all of you to participate and join our convention, which will be tomorrow, I believe from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern times. Participate as aggressively and as well prepared as you can be. This is your opportunity to make connections, build relationships, but you want to go there prepared. You want to make sure that you have all the tools that are needed. The employers will be looking to make new connections, and they have a huge appetite. The pandemic has created many opportunities, new opportunities that no other generation before you ever had. So Ascend is really excited to host this convention and also welcome all of you. And remember, it is your involvement, engagement that will make the difference in getting the job. Remember, your hard skills may help you to get that job, but it's going to be your soft skills that will help you promote and enhance your career. So I welcome you, all of you, on behalf of Ascend, and don't let this be a 1 or 2 day relationship. Make sure that you get involved with our either student chapter or our professional chapters. And you can go to our website, ascendleadership.org, to learn more about that. And we have a convention coming up later in August that you could be a part of it. But once again, I'm really excited on such a dynamic time that you're entering the workforce. And I think the opportunities are endless. And in the end, once again, I would like to thank our partners, the LA Metro chapter, for hosting us. And thanks to our staff for putting up this show. I would like to now turn it back to, I believe, is it?
Olivia.
Olivia, sorry. I'm sorry, Olivia Zhang.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tarek and Anup. Okay. Hi, everyone. Today actually is the best day since I came to the United States in 2009 because my promotion to experienced manager effective today, which is 2 levels up from yesterday. This was not an easy promotion because I've been fighting for it for a couple of years. And here's my story. I'm Olivia with BDO St. Louis office. I was born and raised in Beijing and came to the United States for the master's degree over 10 years ago. But when graduating, I was facing the same challenges many of you are facing right now, looking for an entry-level job as the first-generation immigration. And with a different cultural background, no internship experience in the US, and a need of working visa sponsorship. Inspired by NABA, I brought a student chapter to my graduate school in 2011. Together with other members, we organized many great campus events, and we also went to the regional case competition and the Midwest Student Leadership Conference. But after graduating with no job offer and my student visa was expiring in 3 months, And before going back to China, I decided to give it a last try at 2013 Ascent Convention. I registered myself as a volunteer because there is no registration cost for a volunteer. At the convention, I networked with many senior leaders in big companies, and I was so lucky to sit next to a managing partner at the gala dinner who gave me the job offer the next day. This Ascent journey was not only polished my resume, boosted my confidence, but also get my career started in the US and changed everything in my life. Okay, fast forward 3 years. When I moved to St. Louis and started my senior position with BDO in 2016, one of my coworkers told me, "Hey, Olivia, you are actually the first Asian I've ever met and talked to in my whole life." Yes, I was the only Asian professional in my office, and we have a very small population in Missouri. At work, I was the typical quiet Asian, just waiting the walking paper to speak for itself. It actually worked at first. I got so many compliments, and my partners were impressed at my work and gave me the high achiever rate at the year-end evaluation every year. Then I was waiting for my promotion from senior to manager, but it doesn't work this time. When I realized the staff I trained 5 years ago becomes my manager, it was too late. I just realized no one will ever give you what you are worth. They will only give you what they think you're worth and what you have asked for it. So on Monday, March 16, 2020, 9 a.m., I knocked on the door of my partner's office and initiated the first conversation about my promotion. I was told I can't get a promotion since my green card application was for the senior title. So I can only get the promotion until the green card is approved. It was the same day office shut down due to COVID-19. So after this quick conversation, everyone worked from home. I went home in a very dazed state, and I crawled on my bed in a fetal position for 3 hours. All the discomfort feelings come to me when I was thinking I will be in the same position in the next 5 years, which will be 10 years in total in senior position. Just the past 2 years was the darkest 2 years in my life. My newborn baby stayed in NICU for 2 weeks due to COVID-19, and my mom, who doesn't speak English, is really scared to go out, even a walk in the neighborhood, because all the Asian hate crimes we saw on TV. And I can't even see my future in my career. This is the first time I feel I don't belong here, and I started making a backup plan of moving my family back to China. The spring 2020 was the turning point of many individuals and organizations. BDO is taking action to continue its diversity, equity, inclusion efforts and advance its decades-long strategy. In 2021, I became the first Multicultural Alliance leader in my office and volunteered as the moderator of the first MC Central Region webcast, where I brought the issue up. So without the BDO DEI program, I couldn't be able to make influence on the decision makers since I don't have access to them. In 2022, BDO issued the DI Transparency Report and increased the focus on diversity recruiting, retention, and professional development. It was the same year I got my promotion. I also got support from BDO to use my time and talent to speak up of issues and serving my local Asian community, CPA community. I also got sponsors from BDO for many of my performance at cultural events. Today from my true story, there are many takeaways, like how to do personal branding, how to provide unique value to your target organization. But the most important thing I want to share is that when you feel you don't belong to somewhere, don't give up, just speak up and make a difference. The potential and opportunity to make a difference for one another and make a change to our world has no limit. Today, after 10 years, I'm honored to contribute in any way I can to Ascent. I will open up to share more of my story at the Ascent National Convention on August 15, and I hope to see everyone there. Next, I'm going to play a traditional Chinese music. The instrument I'm going to play is called Erhu Chinese violin. The music is horse racing. Hope you enjoy. So I'm going to hand it over to next person, Matthew.
Hi. Oh, wow. That was amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
So, hi, my name is Matt Chan. I'm going to be an incoming analyst for Deloitte Consulting at the end of the month, in fact. And I just graduated from Purdue University with a majoring in supply chain information analytics. So what I wanted to talk about during my my anecdote would probably be more about the advice that I recommend for students that are struggling in the beginning of college and really didn't know what to do starting out. So for me personally, when I started out college, I was very lost, right? I came into Purdue thinking that I was going to come in for swimming as a walk-on on the Purdue like Big Ten swim team. And then, you know, after some administrative issues, I wasn't going to be actually swimming for them anymore. So at that point in my life, I didn't know, like, I wasn't passionate about my major. I wasn't passionate about anything that I was doing. And, you know, up until that point, I was being like chauffeured to like, you know, school by my mom. I was being scheduled when to eat, when to do my homework, when to do everything. And that point, I didn't really know what independence was. So once that started for me, I really struggled in college. And then in the beginning of my first like 1.5 years at college, I had a 1.9 GPA. So yeah, it's really tough. So this is kind of like, you know, a success story from starting out really bad to, you know, making it all the way to a Big Four consulting firm by the end of college, right? So what I wanted to really talk about is like the importance of mentorship and really knowing what to do in college instead of just academics, right? Because if it was just academics, surely I wouldn't have made it this far. So what I ended up doing was I ended up, you know, speaking out about like, you know, what my passions were, right? I couldn't change the fact that I wasn't passionate about so many things, but I can change my mindset. So I started, you know, hustling a little bit more. I started talking to people inside my university because there's so many pipelines that are built into your university where you can try out so many different things, and there's so many alumni that have gone through the same situation as you. And through that, I was able to, you know, connect with an alumni from one of the organizations that I was involved in at Purdue. And he looked past my GPA and gave me an internship, unpaid, but, you know, rightly deserved. So during that time, he really helped me change my mentality because I came in very ungrateful actually at the time. And, you know, I was just going through the motions. I even asked them like, oh, could we hire another intern to like offload the work that I'm already doing? And I'm like showing up once a week. And it was a terrible mentality to have at that point. But, you know, I'm really stressing the importance of mentorship, because he was able to, because like he already knew me at the time, and he was able to yell at me and be like, this would not cut it in the real world. Like, no, you can't do these kind of things. You can't expect these kind of things. And you need to change your mentality to be more, you know, career driven and like fix yourself, because clearly you're not at a good space right now. 1.9 GPA, that's not great. So after that internship, I learned so much, and I grew so much as a person. And he connected me with someone at Ascend, Ascend LA Metro chapter, Peter Yo. He's the VP of membership there. And he told me to speak to him because like he would be a great, like, you know, help to me in my career. At that point, I was, you know, retaking a bunch of classes. I got my GPA up above a 3.0 like within a year, because I retook a lot of classes and 18 plus credit hours. So once I talked to Peter Yo, I stressed how much I wanted, like all the things that I wanted to do, all the passions I wanted to do. I wanted to be, you know, in the future, I wanted to be a product manager and like work a lot with different industries, cross-functional teams. And these are things that I found out through different experiences and different opportunities that I had on campus. And speaking to Peter, he really saw, like, you know, like the other mentor I had, he really saw the opportunity and the potential in me. So through that, he recommended me to be an intern at the Ascend LA Metro chapter. And that actually, kind of like pivoted my career from like, oh, I'm grateful that I got like, an unpaid internship sophomore year, to being able to network with these big four like senior managers and like retired partners, and people from like JP Morgan and NBC Universal. And the impact that Ascend had on my professional career was just uncalculable. I was able to talk to so many people at Deloitte, right? There was like at least like one ex Deloitte member that's like now a venture capitalist, one senior consultant at Deloitte Consulting, and one senior manager at like Deloitte Audit. And they all wrote me like referral letters. There's not a direct referral pipeline for Deloitte, but they still wrote a letter on my behalf to HR. And I think that the power of that community, the community that Ascend does, that encourages these young Asian professionals to go, Pan-Asian professionals to go out into the corporate world and uplift them, and then pass on the torch, is something that I really want to continue on doing. So through that, I want to be able to pass the torch on, pass the good fortune, because luckily I was able to find Ascend during my very long and arduous journey to where I am now. So that's it for my story, and I'll be passing it on to Michelle.
Thank you, Matthew. Good morning, everyone. This is Michelle. I just graduated back in 2021 fall, so this is my first time speaking in front of so many people. A little bit nervous, but I believe I'll be fine. So a few years ago, I was one of many of you here trying to explore my career and think about what I want to do. And now I'm actually starting my full-time job as a business system analyst at Robert Half. So I want to start out my speech and talking how I actually got involved with Ascend. So I'm actually an international student. I came from Venezuela. It's in South America. Good to see you, Una. It's in South America, but my parents are Chinese. So I actually, when I was little, I was really struggling with my identity because I didn't know if I was like, how should I identify myself? And also because the community in Venezuela, Asian community, is pretty small. So after I came to America to study, I was actually exploring, looking myself on like, who should I hang out with, where should I belong? Because America's pretty diversity, unlike my country. So when I started college, I learned about Ascend, and I joined Ascend. I decided to walk on my comfort zone, and I met a lot of people. And I think in my last junior year, my last 2 years, I've been more active, involved. Like I applied to become an officer. I was really active, and then also I interned at Ascend West Coast, and also I interned for Ascend headquarters. So like Una and so many of us here, I met them before, I worked with them, so at my last year, my senior year, it was like really joyful experience, and it was colorful because there was a lot of ups and downs, like many international students. So my bright side is that I interned with Ascend. I met a lot of people through networking and mentorship, but my downside was that like many international students, I didn't really have a full-time. I didn't have a full-time offer even after I graduated. So I was really struggling. I was applying for a job, but it was during COVID. So I think a lot of companies didn't really want to sponsor. So every time I was looking for jobs, even though they're matching my skill set, something that I'm interested in, there's still always like a line says you will not require for future sponsorship. And then that's like backed me off. I was like, oh, I can't really apply for this because I won't qualify. So I started reaching out, but actually a lot of like professional from different chapters that I work with, they reach out to me, they support me, they were my mentor, they will help me to revise my resume. Beside that, they also like asking me what I'm interested in, but I think I wasn't really prepared enough because I didn't know what I want to work for, what I was like, what was my career, like what I want to do. So I was, and that I was a little annoyed myself. I was like, oh, I should be pretty prepared before I'm reaching out to someone asking for help. So I was like, started preparing myself, like doing research, looking into what I want, like requirements, until I reached out to Katsuhiro Fujiyama. So he actually he used to be a VP of student for at the Northcar professional chapter, and now he's one of the co-presidents. So Kat is always like helping and willing to reach out to students he's really passionate about, and I'm really grateful about him. So I talked to him about what I want to do and my situation. Actually, I broke down when I was on in front of him. I was crying because at that time I was really stressful because I wanted to be a proud kid for my family. Like came abroad all the way here. I had only one goal, as many of the Asian kids. Like I need to graduate from college. I need to make my parents proud. And then, but the rally wasn't like that. Even though after I graduated, I didn't have a full-time offer. And that time my mom was sick. So I feel really like stressed out. I was like, oh, I'm not being a good daughter. But so I reached out to Kat. So I sent him my resume. He helped me, like he sent my resume to the team that we're now. I finally got an interview opportunity. And that's when my young professional first full-time story began. So I'm really grateful. And the advice that I want to give out to all the students that no matter how tough the situation is, there'll be always like a door opportunities. But the things that you have to be really prepared and be your authentic self. Like there will be an opportunity in front of you, but you have to check after that. Like you won't be sitting there and they will like come to you. You will have to like put effort on it and work hard for that. Yeah, that's actually my story. I don't know if I went over time, but thank you so much. I want to hang it now to Anup.
Oh no, thank you, everyone. I think this is an amazing, panelist we have here. I'm very amazed to hear like Olivia's story from like, how she manages between her family, her profession, and the music. It's amazing to see that motivation, like, keep going. Matthew's hustle and networking, right? Very amazed by that. Probably that's where the sportsmanship comes in, right? From the swimming, just keep hustling, don't give up. And same with Michelle, she never gave up. Like, she continued to try. And thanks for her speaking, for the first time in front of such a fabulous, panelists and attendees. So, and that's what we wanted to just, showcase here, with this is that, we were all the first, like, most of us are the first timers. We came to US, we yes, we struggled, we hustled, but let me tell you, like, the success will taste sweeter when you struggle, and just never stop. With that being said, I think most of us definitely wants to network and join different organizations because we want to land our first job in the USA. And that's the topic probably all of you are gonna be listening to in the next session. So let me introduce our next host, Kwan, who's a founder and CEO of Icoa and also an Ascend member. Kwan, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Anu, for the introduction. And I am so inspired by all the amazing stories from the students and our Ascend members today. And I believe that today's session is going to be a great, continuous story of what you all just shared, because today in this session with Attorney Art Saratari and Vice Hatrode and me, we will want to talk about how to help you get your first job in the US. And thank you again, Ascend, for this opportunity to speak at the convention. It's my year number 5 at Ascend. All right, so let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Kwan Sigo, and my students call me Coach Kwan. I grew up in Bangkok, Thailand, so I'm a Thai professional here in the US, and I am now living in Chicago. In my past life, I worked as a human capital consultant at top organizations like BMW, Accenture, and Deloitte. And today I get to do what I love as a career coach for international students and first generation immigrant in the US like myself. So now it's time for me to get to know more about you a little bit, all the attendees today. I would love to get to know more about you. Marco, could you please share the poll question on the screen right now? I would love to learn a bit. Are you an international student or domestic students? I know that we have all the amazing students and speakers with us today. If you are an international student, let me know. If you are a domestic student, let me know. And if you're not a student, let me know as well. All right, I will give you 3 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Let us move on to the next question. Do you have a STEM or a non-STEM major for students? Okay, I would love to learn if you have a STEM or a non-STEM students, because non-STEM major, because that will absolutely impacts your job searching, especially if you are an international student. And if you don't know the answer, that's okay. You can click I don't know. All right. Are you ready for the next one? Next is, I would love to learn a little bit. When are you graduating? Are you graduating this year, next year, or after that? Okay. All right. Are you ready to see the results, to see the answers? So Marco, will we be able to see the outcomes of this poll question, so we know a little bit about our audience today? All right, so first of all, it looks like majority of our attendees today are about to graduate winter 2023 and onward. Kudos to all of you for taking an initiative to be here early on. I am so proud of you. We are so proud of you. I'm sure that all the speakers and assistant leaders today are so proud of you because you're taking this initiative to be here early on, okay? A year, you have more than a year to look for a job. And I'm not sure, Marco, did we get the answer about the international student or domestic student? I haven't seen that yet. Okay, majority of our attendees today are international students. Great job. And we have 22% of the attendees are domestic students. What about the major? Are you, majority of you are STEM students? Great. 61% of our students today are STEM and 35% are non-STEM major students. All right, 4% you don't know, probably, you know, you're not at the time that you need to choose your major yet, right? All right, so let me move on to the next slide here. I would love to give you a quick overview of the agenda items that we will walk through today. First, I will share with you the career strategy for college students and prepare you a little bit with the career fair tomorrow, which is so important. Lots of my students also get a chance to get interviews and finally get a job offer because of career fairs. So don't underestimate the power of career fairs, okay? It is your chance to get right in front of the employers without going through that traditional job application process. Use this chance. And Vice Trode will join me today and share her true stories, which is so compelling, just like other friends, Olivia, Matthew, and Michelle just shared their stories. And best of all, I want to bring her today because she is an international student and she finally got multiple job offers before her graduation because she took the initiative to start her job career preparation early on. And the employer offered her the sponsorship in the job offer letter without her asking for that. So Vice will share her story today in this session, and then Attorney Asaratory will talk about visa pathways for F1 international students, because even though right now you don't need work sponsorship right away, at least you need to know and plan in advance what will be your visa pathway after your F1 status, right? And we will set aside 10 to 15 minutes at the end for Q&A. All right. And if we cannot cover all the questions, I hope that you will ask lots of questions today, okay? You can also engage with me and ask more questions by using this QR code. Okay, this is my WhatsApp group. You can join this group and ask me questions anytime. I give you 5 seconds to scan this QR code. You got it? All right. Let us move on to the next one. Now, mostly, I'm sure that not our attendees today think this way because you start your career journey early. You are here to network, which is so amazing. But most college students think this way. When they think about getting their first job, they imagine it's going to be a path like this. First, they wait until they graduate and then update their resume and then apply for a job and get a job offer. But success is not a straight line. So when students are approaching their graduation, students usually experience these top 3 challenges when looking for jobs. First, you may have little or no work experience at all, but most jobs at entry level ask for years of work experience. You just graduate. How can you have years of work experience, right? And second, you know that you should network, but you don't have connections, especially international students. You are new in this country. Your uncle don't know anyone in the US, right? Back in Thailand, we have connections. Our parents can make connections all the time, but not here. So you don't know where to start. And third, all you receive from your online job application is rejections. I'm sorry, we have to move forward to the next applicant, to the qualified applicant. So all you get is the email rejection. These are the challenges that many new graduates stumble through. And for international students, your challenges will double. If you wait for the job to be open, apply online and wait for an interview opportunity. When you get to the first phone call, the recruiter will ask about your immigration status, and many employers usually say, sorry, we don't have a policy to sponsor international students. And this is a kind of situation that many talented international students usually stumble through and lost your chances to present your skills in front of the hiring managers. So in this presentation, I would like to share a few points to help you find jobs as a new graduate and also overcome your job search barriers as an international student. If you follow the 7-step approach that I will share with you today, you will have higher chances to land a red carpet job interviews without going through so much of the traditional job application process. And before I share that 7-step career success roadmap with you, I would like you to hear true stories from Vice Hatrode. As I mentioned, Vice is a recent graduate class of 2022 this year. And before her graduation, Vice secured multiple job offers, not just one, from top global 500 companies in her dream industry. And as an international student, the company has offered a sponsorship in the job offer letter as her extra benefit to join the company. And she did not even ask for it. So as her coach and mentor, I am so proud of her, and I hope that her story will inspire you as well. Vice, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Kaun. Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here. And I'm really happy that SN gave me this opportunity to be on this platform. And thanks, ICFA, for, again, that was the place where I started my journey too. So, hi, everyone. So I'm Vaish. As Kaun mentioned, I'm presently working in St. Louis, Missouri, which is nice, Olivia, to know about you as well, I heard earlier. So it was great to hear from Anna, Olivia, and Mathav, and Michelle as well, which is Tarek. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences. Right now, I'm working from office, so it's fun to join from here. So I'm a wet process engineer, a specialist in Nestle Purina. So we are into pet food. So that's one of the journeys which I'm living right now here, which is amazing. So I came to the US last year, and I did my master's in chemical engineering from State University of New York at Buffalo. So before I come to the US, I was having my bachelor's in chemical engineering, background in management accounting. And back in my undergrad, I did start a company back in India again, which was more of a social entrepreneurial journey for me, which is the company is still up and running, which is great. So I've had a very diverse experience coming to the US for sure. But when I came in here, it was very overwhelming, given the opportunities and things like that. So right now, when I came and I, spoke with the Career Design Center at the university, I met Ed, but I shared my stories, and I've always been up for networking, so it has really helped me come a long way. That's when he was really happy to introduce me to Kwan. So that's when ICOA came into my life, and it was really a changing moment, which is amazing, because I have been personally a very subjective person. So I think ICOA's framework really helped me when I took their training. It sort of helped me to make it more objective, which is again more of a thing in the US professionally. And also the platform, which has a lot of mentors, because I heard a lot of people talking about it. I cannot deny the importance of that for sure. We don't know it all. All of your thought processes need feedback from people in the industry who know it better. That will really, help to frame your careers for sure. That has been my opinion about it. So it's great to have mentors like C-suite people across multi-corporations, like directors out on the platform, that helps you to think through the process. So that was amazing. And also networking, which has been a very critical part, which again, Korn was also mentioning about, right? So I think without networking, you just sort of lose in the game is what I feel. So it has changed my life so far, and it will for sure in the future too. I'm very excited about it. I mean, from I think ICOA again, I was introduced to Ascend, which is great. Kwan introduced me to Rubina, which was amazing. So that's how I became a student member of Ascend when I was in my master's. And fortunately, Ascend had scholarships for international students, which is really rare, which is commendable that Ascend has a platform. I got Synchrony Financial Scholarship at this platform, which was again a very important stage in my life, where I did not just get the monetary support, but also, I had mentorship support because they were Synchrony Financial mentors who helped me show new pathways in the career, which I did not think before when I started off here in the US. So that gave me like to push my comfort zone further and, make things happen. So for sure, I agree. Landing the dream job is not easy. It has been, difficult weeks where I used to like email Korn Rubina about the difficulties I've had. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm doing all right because I'm trying to do it the right way, but still things weren't working out. I remember I was interviewing for a company. I had interviews like for 12 rounds. I was still not understanding what was the thing they were looking for. There were some situations like that too. But then there were some, interviews where I just, within one sort of session when we spoke about it, it just clicked. So I think it takes time. Again, resilience is important. It is difficult for sure initially. But again, for me, it helped because I try to manage that. Yes, again, taking feedback critically, you have to be ready to change your approach towards your, landing your dream job. You cannot be very rigid about it because markets change, the companies change their priorities. Eventually, you change your career priorities, like given that. So it's really interesting. I'm glad I got such good mentors across this. And I used to do a yoga meditation just to, and play some sports like badminton or, I used to enjoy dance. So just to de-stress yourself, which is very important, I would suggest everyone to have a hobby, which keeps you sane during the whole process for sure, which is important again. Definitely, I'm sure everyone agrees to it too. Starting from not having a job offer to landing multiple job offers within a week and getting sponsorship for your whole process here without even asking for it has been really great. I think it wouldn't be possible without ICMA and Ascend as a catalyst for me. Thank you so much again for having me here. And I want to pay this forward for sure and help more people in the same place who are as me and, want to grow further. So yeah, happy to help. And I'm looking forward to be part of more Ascend professional chapters now that I have transitioned from a student to profession. So that would be fun to look forward to. And I'm actively being part of the diversity and inclusion at the company here as well in Nestle. So it's been amazing. Thank you so much for having me here.
That's amazing, Vaj. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I really appreciate everyone at Ascend, for helping mentoring you, coaching you, especially Robina Sin. She has always been there for our students and always a great mentor. So I'm so proud of you, Vaj. All right, and I just found out that all the presentation that I shared about 15 minutes ago, it didn't pop up. So sorry about that. Sorry for the technical error. So let me try this. Can you all see my slide right now? Can you all see my slide? Let me share my second screen. Can you all see my slide okay? All right, perfect. How about now? Is it still on? Okay. All right, great. Okay, perfect. All right. For the QR code, I will share that again at the end of the presentation. So let us move forward. Okay. So you see that Vice story, she has bypassed all the traditional job application process because of relationships, and she knows how to optimize her career brand and network with the right people. So let us have a look at the formulas she uses to help her land her dream job. Here's my 7-step career success roadmap that Vice has followed. Within this limited time, we will not be able to cover all the 7 steps here, but I want to focus on a few important factors here. First factor is the networking strategy. And the next one, after you build your network, your next step is to build your career brand. We will talk about how to identify your goal, create your compelling stories, and win your employers. Okay. So let us start with networking. Okay. If you want to have more chances of getting job interviews, you cannot rely on online job application anymore, right? Just like how Michelle shared her story, especially as an international student, is tough because let's talk about on average, okay? Only 2% of job applicants get calls for an interview. It is quite hard to get results when applying online. Why you spend time on that 2% chance when 80% of the jobs out there are in the hidden job market? The hidden job market is a term used to describe jobs that have not been advertised or posted online. And these employers shared the opportunity with their network and keep getting candidates through employee referrals. So many of those jobs that have already published online might already been filled internally or via referral. And that is why sometimes you don't even get any responses from applying online and getting rejection right away, even though you have such a good fit resume. There are lots of channels of networking. One important channel is through Ascend membership, okay? And remember, my first step is to build meaningful connections because as an international student, and domestic student as well, you need to have strong advocates who believe in your capabilities. You need a group of professional network who know that even when you as an international student need that work sponsorship in the future, you are going to be a good investment for the company. So randomly connecting with people on LinkedIn, sending out cold messages, and never maintain a connection will not turn those connections into meaningful results. So it means that you need to know how to build meaningful connections with your target professionals, make them fall in love with you, and know where to find those career advocates and know how to maintain a connection. This is very important step. All right. And here are the next 3 steps to build your career brand. First is to define your career goal. Why do you need to have a career goal? Can you just apply for jobs that you feel that you are a good fit? Let's say you have an MBA, one day you may apply for project manager, next day is business analyst, next day is product manager. Will that work for you? Let's look at this data. Why you need to have a career goal. From a survey, 1,500 recruiters said that irrelevant applications was the biggest turnoff, and almost half of this population said that they would blacklist, okay, those candidates by suppressing their names from even coming up in future resume searches. Especially recruiters at big companies like Google, Amazon, they have no time to deal with candidates with irrelevant applications. And if you keep applying online, like a number scam, it's like that. It's like you are shooting your resume in the dark. So let us make your job application process more focused and strategic. There are so many strategic steps, okay, to help build your career brand. And today I would like to talk about a few misperceptions that students normally have when building out their resume and looking for jobs. First misperception is you may believe that only work experience in the US matters. That was my first misperception as well when I first came here to the US. Around 10 years ago, time flies. When I first came here, I have 10 years of work experience back in Bangkok, Thailand. And people said to me, Kwan, you have to start from the bottom. You cannot just, apply for a job that you feel that you qualify for because you don't have US experience. That is not true. Your skills matters more, okay? Your knowledge and skills and capabilities and stories matters more. It does not need to be in the US. It can be from anywhere in the world, all right? And for those of you who do not have like real work experience because you are young graduate, college students, right? But you have lots of school projects like Ascent, volunteer experience, competitions. Those are your compelling stories. So don't feel that those projects are not something compelling. Highlight your school projects on your resume because as long as they are relevant to the job, the employers will be interested in learning more about them. The last misperception is about the GPA. And I know that many students, especially here at Ascent, you are high achievers. And I encourage you to keep your grade above 3 because that is a common cutoff for many companies. However, if you feel that having a 4.0 GPA is a gateway to any job, let me show you this one, okay? From National Association of Colleges and Employee Surveys this year, fewer employers said that they use GPA to screen candidates. You see a sharp drop, right? From 73% of employers said, I use GPA to screen candidates. Now it's dropped to below 50%. Meaning that when it comes to a career, employers want to know your stories, not just a GPA. So prepare to talk about your projects and the problems that you solved. Highlight relevant skills instead of just a GPA. And once you have your brand ready on your resume, don't just stop right there. Go beyond your resume. Share your brand on other channels like LinkedIn. I'm telling you, 100% of my students who got job offers from like Google, Amazon, those take top tech firms recruiters, they reach out to them through LinkedIn. They did not have to apply for those jobs online at all. Those recruiters love passive candidates, meaning that those candidates that have great profile, they use LinkedIn like a keyword search, and they pop up in those search. And once they review the LinkedIn profile and see all those work samples, they feel compelled to contact the students and finally got a job offer. And don't just stop right there either. Don't forget that email communication is very important here, very essential here as well. So have your brand on your email signature. And also build your portfolio, your work samples from your schools, school projects. Put together a website. There are so many sites that you can use for free. Just simply use that just to showcase what you are capable of. And this is a post-pandemic time and people start to meet in person again. So let us print out business cards that present your career brand. Nothing beats in-person meetings, right? And this may surprise you a little bit, international students. When you get a job interview, never ask this question. Will you sponsor my H-1B? As you have your work authorization for F1, students like OPT, CPT, you should walk into that meeting with confidence, right? Make sure that you are there to sell yourself, your skills, not just your visa situation. And during a job interview, please remember that in the US, job interview is not a one-sided approach. In the job interview, if you want to stand out, you must be able to create a conversation with your interviewers. And to create that conversation, you need to know a lot about them, about their background. All hiring managers that I talked to, they all said the same. The best candidates that stand out during job interview are people who have done extensive research about the company and about the role very well. Therefore, in order to nail your next job interview, you need to do your homework, do your research to identify your employer's needs. First, you can simply start by reading that job description, all right? Read line by line, and then check out their website, social media, get to know about the company, their achievements, their challenges, all the latest news. If you should know who's the CEO, CFO, COO, and do a little bit of name dropping during the job interviews so that you care about their mission and express how much you want to help them achieve that mission. Also, do the research about your interviewers as well, because give a human job. That is something that Attorney Art always say. I love it. All right, not just the company. So make sure that you know about your interviewer and learn about their background, expertise, and create a conversation. But remember, all of this, anyone can get online, right? Like the job description, the latest news, and all of that. So go beyond that. You need to set up an informational interview to talk to people inside the company. And when they are so impressed with that conversation with you one-on-one, maybe they will say something nice about you to the hiring manager, who knows? And you will get some insight that no one can get. Okay. All right, before I hand over to Attorney Art, I would like to help you prepare just a few points here, for the Ascend National Career Fair tomorrow. Just a quick checklist for you. First of all, do your research. But first, define your goals. Know which companies you want to target, which role that you want to target, and do your research. Use the strategy that I just shared with you just now. And then polish your career brand, both resume, LinkedIn profile, and e-portfolio. If you get a chance to have that, don't forget to put that on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, and also prepare your elevator pitch. And today, Vaij, I know that you prepare a little bit of the elevator pitch to share with our friends today, right? Because nothing beats like real life example. So I hand over to you, Vaij. Can you share a little bit of a perfect elevator pitch?
Yeah, that's awesome. This is going to be like a reverse engineering for me, like to give an elevator pitch after landing a job. So that'd be fun. Considering that I haven't still landed a job in Nestle Purine, I would like to give this pitch so that it gives students a sense of how it would feel. So if I would give my pitch to an employer whom I'm talking to for the first time, because most of my interviews were virtual. So yeah, it's a different world. I agree, post pandemic. So hi. So my name is Vaish. I've done my master's in chemical engineering from State University of New York, and I have my background in management accounting as well, and have experience for more than 5 years into fast-moving consumer goods industry, and also with two different experiences in automotive industry and medical devices applications. So I have some experiences with MATLAB, ICP OES, and some research experiences where we've done RT-PCR, and which has been core into biological sciences and wet lab experiences. So my career goal is to be a process engineer to with a core of problem solving. At the same time, to reverse engineer and find the root cause analysis, which scale from business strategy with the technical services and applications in the industry. And I focus on core FMCG industry specifically because pet food is growing with 2-digit growth. And after all the uncertainties in the market pre and post pandemic, I feel this is something the industry I would like to pick and grow. Given the company's growth in the next 5 years, I can see my career growing as well. And I would love to know more about how my career would go with the company for sure. Not to forget that I have been, just to give a little bit sense more about me as a person, I've been a TEDx speaker and an international yoga champion previously, and have interest in dance and badminton. So I love traveling too. So this is a little bit more about me outside of work. So thank you so much for your time today. And I would love to discuss more on the opportunity ahead of us.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Vice. This is
Thanks,
going
Kwan.
to be absolutely. I love it because you share your personality as well in this self-introduction, right? This is going to be perfect, especially when you get to interview with the hiring manager and they ask like, can you please tell me about yourself? Because you get to share your skills, your knowledge, your educational background, your knowledge, your goals. And in ICA, we have like 7 components in there, right? And for that elevator pitch, you can make it more concise. But actually, I really love that part, the fun fact part. You can even bring that to the top. Can you repeat the last part again about the yoga, TED Talk, TEDx?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. When you're trying to give a pitch to the employer about
Let's
more
say
about
it's
you as a person,
30 to
right?
60 seconds, right?
Right. So I would love to speak more about me as a person outside work. So I preferably enjoy dance and badminton as sports, but some fun facts about me is for sure that I've been a TEDx speaker and an international yoga champion previously, which I really pride in
Cool.
and has made me a person as I am of today. So yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
happy to share that.
That going to hook their interest. I'm a TEDx speaker and yoga practitioner champion. And right now I am pursuing my degree at University at Buffalo, right? Like walk back to the time that we were a student, and
Right,
going to
right.
graduate this year with the master's degree in industrial engineering. And what I'm looking for right now is to join the consumer goods industry because I want to use my skills in 1, 2, 3 technical skills to help the team achieve their goals. So thank you so much and very nice to meet you today. So that's going to be a quick introduction for 30 and, not more than like 60 seconds. Considering a career fair, if it's like an on-site career fair, it's going to be a long line, right? And if it's a virtual career fair, you have a very short time for each interviewer representative. So great job, Vice. You have such a compelling story. Bravos to you. Kudos to you. And can't wait to
Thanks,
hear,
Kwan.
of course, and can't wait to hear your new version of, compelling stories, elevator pitch a year after your work at Nestle Purina too. I know it's going to be a new version of Vash. All right. Okay, so I know that I missed to give you this QR code, so please put your phone up and scan this QR code. And when you join my WhatsApp group today, I would like to share a PDF file to help you prepare for your career fair. Okay, there is a checklist and all the like a cheat sheet for you to prepare yourself for tomorrow's career fair. All right, I think we went over time, Art. So sorry about that. Students can't wait to hear more about the visa pathway. So please, stage is yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kwan. How much time do I have, just so I can fit to? What do we got, Marco?
15 minutes. We might have less of the Q&A part, but like I can put together the answers and answer in the WhatsApp as well and share with you the questions later on.
All right, and I could share my screen right now?
Yes, let me stop sharing.
How's this for an elevator pitch? Who the heck am I? Who am I? I'm a guy who just happens to be a lawyer. I could be, I don't know, a FedEx driver. I don't care. I care about people. I'm not a normal lawyer. I want to treat every person who contacts me like a human being and not like someone who's just a source of money. Or if the person hires me, you're not just a bunch of papers on my desk. That's who I am. Is that okay for an elevator pitch, or is that too weird?
It's perfect, Art. Love it.
I just made that up. All right, so who am I? I told you. Now here's what we're talking about real quickly. And let me put it into perspective, because I'm not going to be the typical guy who goes on and on and on about the stupid immigration rules for the sake of talking about the immigration rules, because I love them so much. I hate them. These rules will, if you do it wrong, will restrict your choices and will diminish your hope for the future. So you have to use those rules if you need to. If you need to, you got to use the rules to help you find more places to network. And the big picture point that I'd like to make is that the giant companies, the companies that Ascend and Kwan help you network with, they're big. Accenture, Deloitte, KPMG, BMW, Purina. These companies know what immigration is. They know the visas. And if you listen to Kwan, I'm telling you, I mention Kwan all the time. I don't know how many people actually contact her. Sometimes people don't want to pay for service. They have a career office. The people at the career office at your school are phoning it in. I don't want to be rude, but that's kind of, they're phoning it in. Kwan gives a damn. She's really good. And if you listen to her and bypass the normal job application process, you won't need to listen to a thing I say. So that's the point. You gotta network. And like Kwan said, I always say, I'll say it again, it is a human being that gives you a job, not a computer. You sit down and send out 100 resumes and cover letters, and you know what you're going to get back? Nothing. Zero. So you've got to meet people. I'll tell you a story real quick. Kwan and I were at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, and I stayed out with a group of graduate students, probably a little too late, whatever time the place closed, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. You got to make people like you. I wasn't trying. I was just being me. There's no mask. I have no mask. This was me, but at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know if I want to reveal where we were, but let's say our adult beverages were served. And by the time I left that place with the remaining 4 people, the graduate students, Kwan was good. She left very early. She's a very nice woman. I'm always looking for trouble. And I stayed to the bitter end, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And guess what? Of those 4 people, 2 of them hired me. That's like a job interview. That's how you get people to like you. You be you. You be your authentic self. All right, that's enough about this. I just reiterated everything you've already heard. What is the deal with immigration? How do I view immigration as an immigration lawyer? Well, first, I would love you if you took a screenshot of this. I, like Quan, I will always answer your questions. You contact me through email, immigration.art@gmail. This is just easy to remember. Take a screenshot, immigration.art@gmail.com. This is my formal email address, but this simply dumps into that. And that's because when I share documents with students and stuff, or young professionals, we use Google Drive. There's a lot of add-ons to Gmail. Gmail is wonderful. And this is our website. And all these links are live, by the way. So if you click on a link, you'll get whatever is hidden under the link. But in any event, going back to how you contact us, we'll answer any question. We're not going to charge you either. See, I'm not normal. I'm the anti-lawyer. You want my brand? My brand is anti-lawyer. So you email us and I will write back. And if the answer to your question is too complicated for an email, I'll set up a video meeting with you. And I'm not going to charge. The only time I would charge you is if you hire me. And you don't have to stay out till 3 o'clock in the morning either, by the way. You could get to know me just by talking to me. Like, who thinks I'm the anti-lawyer? Raise your hand. So next slide, okay. Oh, and this is my law partner, Mara. Just real quickly, Quan will tell you, Mara is the grown-up in our law firm. She's very mature, very organized, and very quick with email, very prompt. I am more like a 15-year-old, and Mara has to supervise me and her own 15-year-old. So it's like she's running a daycare for high school students. This is her cross to bear. All right, so you didn't know it was going to be like this, did you? So anyway, okay, so here's the point. Here's the point. What's the big picture? If you listen to Quan, you don't need this big picture. The company will do it for you. But if you want some control over your life and you don't want the company to do it for you, you can use the immigration process to simply increase the choices you have for interviewing. What do I mean? Well, you go to school. When you're in school, you better have CPT internships. Why? For networking. That slide Quan showed about GPA is true. I got all the job offers, Ernst, well, back then, it was years ago, Ernst & Young, Coopers and Lybrand. It wasn't your Ernst & Young, it was Ernst & Winnie. But the point is, I went out with these people. I went out with the recruiters. They called me back for office interviews. I went out with them. And after dinner, there's always one in the crowd who wants to hang out, always. Are you seeing a pattern here? So I would hang out with these people after the interview. They would take me to dinner. It's 9 o'clock at night. The guy that's 24 doesn't want to go home. So I go out with, you know, and you network. But while the big company knows immigration and they'll select you on other aspects of your life besides your GPA, are you sociable? Are you likable? Do you want to sit in the same office near a cubicle with this guy for the rest of your life? Or for the next foreseeable 4 years, 5 years? You know, that's what they're thinking. Do I want to work with this guy? So the point is, even though these big companies will help you with immigration, if you want some control over your life or more choices for networking, you get CPT internships, then you graduate. You're more than likely to get a CPT internship offering you an OPT job. But if you listen to Quan before you graduate, you'll also have a lot of other choices too. Now, if you're a STEM major, and a good number of you are, if you're not from India, and China is cutting it close with the backlogs, if you're not from India, maybe China, this would work. You could get into line early on STEM extended OPT. You could get in line early. There is no rule that you have to have an H-1B to get a green card. Baloney. You could be working in the United Arab Emirates and be in line for an American green card. Don't listen to people. I'm making a video about that next. You do not have to be in H-1B status or working for the company that's going to eventually get you the green card. You could be in line for your uncle's company and for the green card, and you could be working at Deloitte with an H-1B. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But the point is, you could possibly get out of OPT in 3 years with a STEM extension. And I say, India, you can't do that because the wait for a green card is 10 years. But there's other tricks you can do. China, the wait is around 3 years, so it's cutting it close. Maybe yes, maybe no. And any other country on earth, and by the way, this is the country you're born in. Green card wait times are based on the country where you're born. So if you're Indian, but your mother was a nurse in the United Arab Emirates and had a baby in the UAE, and you are that baby, you don't have a 10-year wait because you're not Indian. According to this stupid system of ours, you're born in the UAE. You are a 2-year green card wait, 2 years, not 10. So it's the place of your birth determines where you are in line for a green card. The whole world has a 2-year green card through work, except the poor people from India. And the Chinese people, it's cutting it close around 3 years. If you can't get the green card right out of OPT, and most people don't, this is wishful thinking, and I want to put the idea in your head to cause trouble because I'm immature, I'm 15. You might have to take a detour and stop over in the work visa box. Now, this is where you can use this box to help you expand your networking opportunities. If you need to, you stick with Quan, you're not going to need to, but you might. So what am I talking about? Just real quick, work visas are based on your citizenship, not birth, citizenship. Your eligibility for a work visa is based on citizenship, what you're interested in doing, what you studied, and where you want to work. If you want to be a religious worker, there's an R1 visa just waiting for you. If you have no interest in being a religious worker, then you want to work for a company or an NGO or a nonprofit organization, well, then there's other visas available for you there. So these 3 variables point out which of the work visas are right for you. And again, the green card is where your wait time is determined by where you're born. The visa is based on your citizenship. Now, why do I say that? Because keep these 3 variables in mind. And this is the most important slide I've ever made in my life. And it's pretty lame. It looks like a 15-year-old made it. But this stupid slide is like the key. If you, all right, Quan is gonna help you get into a top tier company. They know immigration, okay. If you're the typical kid I work with, you're the next level down. I'm sorry, but that's me. Because you don't need me if you have Quan. If you have Quan, you don't need me. You don't, because Quan will make your life easier by teaching you how to avoid the stupid interview questions. They're so awful. Do you need sponsorship? They don't even know what sponsorship means because it's not a thing. It's not a thing, sponsorship. What do you mean? A green card? Do I need an employer-sponsored green card? No, I have work authorization through school. What else do you want? They don't know. If you ask them that question, they won't have an answer because they don't know. So don't talk about it. Don't ever talk about immigration unless they ask you. And how do you answer? Quan knows. I'll give you some cynical, sarcastic answer like, oh, do I need sponsorship? No, I don't. Because you have OPT. I don't need sponsorship. I need oxygen. I need food and shelter. Go take a walk. So anyway, bear with me. So citizenship, your interests and where you want to work. Okay, so if you want a religious worker job, you're R1. Bingo. If you want an H1B, all those big companies Quan is going to hook you up with, they know what to do an H1B. Now listen to this. If you're Indian, you might want to consider this. How do you get into the United States and get a green card without waiting 10 years? How? You get a company to love you. I don't know if Purina has, and I'm assuming you were a citizen of India, but if Purina has offices outside of America, here's what you could do. 10-year wait for the green card, and oh, the H-1B is a lottery. You've got 3 chances, maybe 4. And if you don't win the lottery, which is a random lottery, good luck, goodbye, take care. Thanks for helping out for 3 years on STEM. Goodbye, good luck. OPT, that's it, you're end of the road. So if you don't want to have your life governed by a random lottery, and if you don't want to wait 10 years, you know, America has a lot of arrogance. This immigration system is broken, and it's so broken, we're punishing this poor young lady from India. That's crazy. She's at the pinnacle of her educational achievement. She's got her foot in the door at Purina. Now she's got to worry that she's going to get an H-1B or be thrown out in 3 years. Well, that's no way to live. So what's an L1, L1A? An L1A is if they transfer you from where you are now at Purina to somewhere in the world to work for Purina outside of America. And then if you're a project manager outside of America for at least a year, at least 1 year, when they bring you back to America, you're not an H, you're an L. And if you're an L, get this. I'm going to go down to, where's my cursor? I'm going to go down to the bonus information section, and I'm going to go to here. This chart is every kind of green card you ever would want from work. All right. Most people, this poor young lady at Purina is this right here. She's got master's degree, high level of education, and boom, she's going to be stuck in this box right there. Good luck with that. And before you even get put in that box, these big companies want you having an H-1B. Good luck with that, because it's a lottery. So you take matters into your own hand, and people, if they love you, will help you. And if you figure out how to get transferred to, I don't know, Purina, Germany, yeah, an Indian young lady, a young lady from India can get a work visa to go to work in Germany for Purina and then come back to the United States. Why? Because when you come back to the USA, you're not going to be stuck in this box. You're going to be up here in the EB1, your really special priority line. And the Indian student comes back as a multinational transferee project manager. And guess how long that takes to get? 18 months, 2 years max. She just not only improved her wait time from 10 years to 2, she got a she got a relocation package to have a vacation in Germany. What the heck is wrong with that? This is my thing. I'm not normal because I don't care if you hire me or not. I can't spend money when I'm dead. And look at me, I'm pretty close. So, God forbid. So listen, so you call me, I will help you do what's best for you. If helping you by teaching you what the L1 is, gets you an internal transfer at Purina, and then the Purina lawyer brings you back, and I don't get hired to do anything, I don't care. I don't care. I have children your age, young lady, and if I could help my children and I don't help you, shame on me. You are someone's child. And the young lady who said she was afraid she was being a bad daughter, You don't understand. If I cry, I don't want to cry. Quan, don't you catch me crying. So the bad daughter thing, you've got the hopes and dreams of a family halfway around the world on your shoulders, and you're high achieving smart people. And if I can't help you with all my little charts and all my crazy way of explaining things so you remember it, it's like watching a train wreck listening to me. So if I can't help you and your family, what good is being alive? It's to bring the generations forward and to bring multiculturalism to a global economy so nut job nationalists can't wreck what the world is already doing by default. It's a big project for a little bald guy like me. But I gotta tell you, these work visas, like here, an E visa. If your country of citizenship, say you're Italian, and you want to work in the food industry, okay? So you go to MGM, you go to Hilton, and they're not panning out for you. They're not panning out for some whatever reason. You consult with Quan, and then you're talking to me, and I put the idea, and this is the last thing I'll say, and then I put the idea in your head, well, yeah, if you want to get into the food service industry, Hilton is good, MGM is good, but if you're not getting what you need, broaden your search. Are you Italian? You are, okay. Well, you know, there are Italian-owned food companies in America. If you can find an Italian-owned food company in America, and you're Italian, under the terms of the screwy E2 visa, you can just go work there because you're alive and Italian. And this is true for people from Cameroon, it's people from Mexico, Canada, all the countries that have treaties with us. The United Kingdom, you want to get into aircraft nanoparticle engineering to make the rotors on the engine spin faster? Well, then go, if you're from the United Kingdom and have a UK passport, citizenship, go apply to Rolls-Royce airplane engine division. They're owned by the UK. There's so much you can do, but don't let immigration fear cripple you. Quan is going to teach you how to avoid all the garbage with normal channels of getting hired. Humans hire humans. If they love you, they'll send you to Germany. Purina will love to send you to Germany and bring you back and get you a green card in a year to 18 months, maybe 2 years max. If they love you, they'll help you. And if you want to broaden the search for more people who love you, you figure out which ones of these visas interest you. There's 12. There's not just the H-1B. There's 11 others. Pick the ones that are appropriate for you. If you're lucky, you get 4, maybe 3, maybe 4. If you're from Canada or Mexico, you get, geez Louise, 6. But the point is, you work backwards from what's required here, and then do your job searching and networking accordingly, and you will expand the pie. You will expand the population of people who would be interested in hiring you. And when someone says, oh, no, we don't sponsor, you say, but you're Segafredo. Is it Segafredo? There's an Italian coffee. You go into the Reykjavik airport. There's no Starbucks. It's, I think, Segafredo. I don't know. Whatever. And anyway, it's an Italian company. It's owned by Massimo Zanetti. And you are talking with the manager in an informational interview, ask Quan, informational interview, and the guy mentions, are we going to have any visa issues? Do you need sponsorship? And you could say, oh no, I'm Italian, and there's a treaty between Italy and America. You can hire me just because I'm alive and Italian. I qualify, and make a joke out of it. But it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. All right? That's my thing. Okay. And I just want you to know that I'm not kidding. We love you. This is my life. This is what I do. From many, we are one. That's what it says on our money. and it's for real. Look at all these nice, happy faces. Look at these young people. If I didn't help these people, this is the oldest client I have. Look at the guy. He's got a beard with gray in it. That's the oldest. I'm not helping old people. They're history. Look at these faces. Look at everybody. Look at this guy. He's American, by the way. Anyway, that's my thing. I work with Quan because Quan is honorable and smart. And I will help you as required to broaden the pool of possible employers by looking at and using to our advantage these 12 visa choices, but only if you need it, okay? And what Quan said, the first words out of your mouth at a job fair never ever should be, will you sponsor me for an H-1B? Will you sponsor me for an H-1B? And then I need an EB-2 perm labor certification. They're gonna think you're a weirdo and you only want them because they can help you. Goodbye, out, okay? So those are my words of wisdom, I guess. And this is how you contact us, and I'm done.
Thank you so much, Art. You are so kind. I'm just so honored to be able to collaborate with you in the past 5 years. And I share with the students the in the chat, okay, the WhatsApp group. Let me share that one more time. And Art, I think you'll be okay, right? If I share your presentation, your PDF in our WhatsApp group as well. And if they have any specific, questions, they can reach out to you directly.
I'm going to send my slides to Marco and to you.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. And thank you so much, Vaish, for joining me and sharing with us your true stories, inspirational stories. We are rooting for you, for your success. Thank you, Ascent, for having us today.